talking about, man.
Let's
Man,
go.
it gets me going every time. Rocco, how you feeling, my G?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling all the love from the people out there. I had
Yo,
just refreshed my phone, 172 subs. I'm feeling the love, and I'm ready to give y'all some love back.
yo, I just want y'all to understand. It's kind of been a really cool week for us. Mind you, we've been at this since maybe early November. I think was around the time we recorded our first video, and we wasn't even doing pre-recorded videos at the time. These are all live shows coming at y'all immediately, right? And then at that time, we wasn't even doing thumbnails, getting the nice or
We didn't know
interesting.
what the fuck we were doing.
We was just trying to get our repetitions,
We're
man,
just throwing stuff and getting
and
our reps in.
we in our reps in. And now we seen since Monday. I think Monday we had 19 subscribers. Now we're at 172, and we're getting such good engagement from everybody, man. It's been such a good time. We was already getting our growth on Blue Sky, but now seeing it all turn our hard work into the YouTube side, and y'all starting to tap in with us more, man. Love to see it, boy.
I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And, if there's something you would like to see, if they got questions that you would like to ask, leave a message to us, leave some reviews, and help us grow. And we'll help you out and win some championships.
Yeah, we're this close to 200. Shoot, what's stopping us from getting to 5? What's stopping us to get into a thou wow? What's stopping us to get into 10,000? You feel me? Help us get to a 10,000. I'm just
I
saying.
I always said if you can get to 100, you can get to 1,000.
And what's
But we can't do it without you guys and gals. We can't do it without y'all.
guys and gals? 70 it was like 70% male, but we got the females in here. Y'all are tuning in. Yeah.
Man, so we're here a little early this week. I heard you were stepping out and going on to a little vacation.
A little vacation, y'all. We gotta come out to y'all a little earlier in the week this time. Going to Universal, getting my fun on Orlando. And South. Today was getting poured on. Let me tell you, you wouldn't even want to step outside. I don't know, and it's kind of funny every time Floridians talk about it's cold. I can't even say I'm a Floridian, but it's a little nippy. It's a little chilly. You know what I mean? You gotta put a little. As you see, I got a North Face on. What side the North Face? You see, I got a North Face on. It gets a little
Man,
nip.
man, they're saying we may get snow down here in NOLA, which I've
Ooh,
experienced twice in my life in New Orleans.
I didn't know it snowed down
So it doesn't. It never does. That's why it's happened twice in my whole history. And it may be coming early next week, which is giving me an extra day off. So I'm not too mad. We
there.
we're wrapping our pipes and being prepared. We're getting we got our rations in early because there's gonna be a rush coming in. But what's your favorite ride at Universal?
None of them.
You're doing it for the kids?
None of them. Fuck them. Just kidding though. Just anyone. I'm really just out there for Kai. Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, he's the one that likes to go on all the rides and stuff like that. So it gets to a point where I do have a breaking point. One time we all a family cruise, and I forget what slide it was, but how it was set up, you get into it, and as soon as you get in, you lock yourself in, you gotta cross your arms, and the bottom drops off underneath you. And mind you, you're already high up. I'm scared of
Mhm.
heights. My fucking stomach jumped out of my butt. I'm trying to tell you, I was shaking as soon as I got down. This boy Kai talking about let's go again. I'm ready to go back to the ship. I'm over here about to have a meltdown. Nope. I don't do it, Rocco. I'm about to be the big 30, I'm about to be the big 31 in a few weeks. I feel like I'm not. I'm just still I'm a young cat, but cats only got so many motherfucking lives, dog. Can't keep trying out here. I can't keep trying it out here.
Man, just a personal aside. I used to work for a paint store. I was in management, and they would send the managers and sales reps and everybody above that on a sales meeting every year,
Mm,
and every year I was there, it was always in Orlando, and we would always go to either the Isles of Adventure or Universal. And let me tell you, you do that every year for like 5 years straight. I've seen it. I'm good with it.
you
Like,
good?
kids, y'all want to go somewhere? Let's go somewhere where we can experience something. So I liked it, but it wore its welcome real quick with me. I probably would go in like, another few years, but they had the same shit every year
Mm.
for 5 straight years, so I'm kind of over it.
I feel you on that, big dog. But hey, listen, it's divisional round two. Both of our teams are out, but we still tuning in.
Hmm.
We got a couple of little action-packed games going on. I don't know who gonna come out on top, but let's talk about it a little bit.
Let's
First
go.
one, Texas versus Texans versus Chiefs. I don't know. I feel like Mahomes all year has been getting lucky, Rocco. Is this the week that he gets humbled?
Um, I will say that the one thing that could make Chiefs fans nervous is the fact that Houston probably has the best set of corners in the league. If not the league, then they
He
definitely
was
have the
going
best set of
crazy.
corners
Mm,
playing in this divisional round. So none of the receivers for Kansas City scare me. The other thing is that Kansas City hasn't had a running game since Pacheco went out. I mean, Kareem Hunt played, but he was averaging under
he
four
was
yards a
decent.
carry.
He
He
was
was
decent.
a volume play. He's
Volume
not
guy. Mm-hmm.
he's not anything that's gonna you're gonna write home about. But at the end of the day, um, I wanted to put some money, even though I don't bet. I wanted to put some money down on Houston, but it's hard to bet against Patrick
The
Mahomes.
goat. Well, I can't say the goat. I'm sorry. Sorry.
And
Can't say the
and
goat.
he is the goat, and I find it's going to be hard for, on the flip side, it's going to be hard for Houston to score because Kansas City has a rock solid defense, one of the top in the league, and I have a hard time seeing how they're going to score if they don't get Nico Collins going. So I think they're going to bracket Nico Collins. Joe Mixon is banged up and may not even play, which would
He's
be
playing.
tragic.
He's
It would
playing.
be tragic if he's not 100% for Houston, but I think it's going to be a close game. But the Rabbits going to fall out of their ass again, and Kansas City's going to find a way to win. Where they're going to lose is they're going to lose next week to the winner of the other AFC game. You heard it here first.
What I think, Kansas City, I believe, are getting Chris Jones back. He missed the. He did miss. Well, no, they didn't. They had the. They had a bye last week. Yes, they did. So they didn't even have to play. But he did. He didn't even play in the season finale. I think they were resting their starters. But he should be nice and rested. They had some extra time off, so that's an extra bump for their defense. I still like Xavier Worthy against this. They have a what the Kansas. I think Kansas has a little bit more weapons than what they were facing last week, but at the same time, CJ has been such up and down this season. If he comes out like there's no room for mistakes here. I don't want Mahomes to keep going to the Super Bowl, but it's like he's so damn good. Nobody's keeping him out. But I have a question for you, Rocco. If Kansas City gets knocked out, they lose this game, does Travis Kelsey retire?
Um, I think a lot of people were surprised he came back this year. So I definitely think it's on the table, win, lose, or draw. Um, I think he's got a good thing with Taylor Swift, and I mean he's never going to want for money. He's got his own money, and he's married to a billionaire pop star, or not married, but it's looking like it's going to go that way.
Hopefully,
Um,
hopefully so.
he's got his He's got a successful podcast. He's got a couple viewers more than us at the moment. That could change at any moment.
And
Um, but yeah, he's doing. He's got a lot of interest outside of football, I guess, is what we're
yep,
trying to point to.
yep.
And he's been more or less a decoy for the last couple years until the playoffs. So I would kind of bet that he has a kick-ass game on Saturday, but I do think this could be the end of the road. I'd
Could.
probably put it, 70-30 that he's going to hang it up, win, lose, or draw.
And it would make me so sad because damn, what a career has it been, Rocco. I'll tell you that, man. And I don't know. Well, I guess we already know who would passing on the torch would be to Trey McBride, Brock Bowers. Those are your go-to guys for the next tight end one for the foreseeable future to me. Now, next game we have the Commanders versus Lions. A lot of implications here, man. I still think whether the Lions win or lose, Ben Johnson is damn near out of here. I don't want the Commanders win because I'm a hater. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I'm a hater. I don't want to see no type of Commander success. But that boy Jaden Daniels, unfortunately, I'm a fan of yours, and I still want to see you do your thing. Who do you think comes out of this, Rocco?
I think it would be very beneficial for the league if this was a close game and Jaden Daniels showed out and Detroit still won. I mean, you got to give it to Jaden Daniels. He's one of the best rookies we've ever seen. Period. I mean, a lot of great quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson sat early, and he's just come out the gate, and he looks like a top 5 quarterback at this point. So Jaden Daniels could definitely put this team on his back and beat Detroit, but I have a hard time seeing Washington being able to slow down Detroit's offense, specifically their running game. I think they're gonna run roughshod over them like they've run over, pretty much every team.
Pretty much.
Every team in the league.
I think David Montgomery is supposed to be coming back this week. So
Sonic and Knuckles are back.
Sonic and Knuckles is back, baby. Now, how much usage he sees, how much of that load he sees. I mean, it's the playoffs. You might not have tomorrow, so you might as well leave it all out there on the field while you can, right? And they're still one of the best tandems. He signed that contract this year. He's going to be back next year, and they're still one of the most formidable duos in the league.
And let me give you a little something that definitely
lay it on us.
Is definitely gonna be something that is gonna be hard to overcome. The Washington Commanders, according to PFF, are the 28th ranked run defense in the league.
Oof.
Now, I know some of it was early in the season where they were really bad, and they've been coming on a little bit better, in the second half of the season, and they do have a defensive-minded coach, but I just don't see them being able to slow down. I don't see the Commanders being able to slow down Detroit. So I just think it's going to be a little bit closer than we think, but and I hope to see some fireworks offensively.
No, I still want to see them boys go out. Once again, I want good games. All right, I feel like these playoffs have been a snooze fest. I need some shit to rumble. Okay.
And one other thing that's going to be a problem for the Commanders, they need a legit secondary option alongside Terry McLaurin. So I think they're going to get a first round wide receiver or pick up one in a trade or free agency, because Olamide Zaccheaus and Zach Ertz
No,
Zach Ertz.
they're the best receivers on their team.
Mm-mm.
They need to keep them on the team. Matter of fact, I have never seen such a great pair of receivers. They should never release those guys. I don't know what the fuck you talking about, Rocco. Let them. I don't want them to get no receivers. Actually,
I want to see LMC get on the field, man. What's up with that? Let's get LMC on the field.
he a bum, so it's okay. It's all right.
My taxi squad LMCs are ready to
Yeah,
do something in this playoffs.
you ain't saying nothing. You said get Luke McCaffrey. Go get him. The fuck. Put him on the field.
I'm gonna pick him up if somebody drops him.
Sir, I'm about to, like I said, I'm about to be 31. I'll strap Luke McCaffrey's ass up. All right, don't make me go get the cleats locked. I'll go get them cleats, strap his ass up. Don't play with me. Next game, you're about to make me mad. Rams versus Eagles. How do you
Yeah,
feel?
I feel like this is another instance of um, the Rams. They look great beating the Vikings, who were a paper tiger. We didn't ever really believe that Darnold was gonna lead that team to the promised land, and he showed what he was in the last 2 weeks. The Eagles are a different beast. They probably have the best defense in the league, and if they don't have the best running offense in the league, they're probably second to Baltimore. So that is the game plan.
You was very incorrect.
Who's the best defense in the league?
The Dallas Cowboys.
If they were the best defense in the league, they would be in the playoffs.
I plead the fifth.
No, but anyway, yeah, I think the game plan is going to be similar to the game we just talked about. I think that's going to be a run heavy game plan, and when they start creeping up to the line, that's when they're going to go to Devonta Smith and AJ Brown over the top. I don't see much of a way for this to be competitive unless they're able to stop the run. But I don't foresee it, so I think this is another big game for
I don't see that.
Philadelphia.
I'm sorry, Jalen Hurts ain't Joe. Once again, I gotta be the one to tell people that Jalen Hurts is not a fucking quarterback, and I hate to say that. You know, what I mean, all the bullshit that people was giving Lamar, need to go give that shit to Jalen Hurts because that man cannot throw the goddamn football. He can't facilitate. Okay, I'll tell you about he's just not the. I don't know, bro. Everyone likes to be on Jalen Hurts nuts like he's goddamn. He's a winner. I give him that. He knows how to win. He's he's the emphasis of a dual threat. But let's not act like his rushing touchdowns don't come from booty touching. I'm tired of this. Okay. I'm tired of the booty touch. Y'all need. I don't want to hear it no more.
Jalen Hurts could suck, and they're gonna still win this game because they are so much better at like every other position. If let's put it this way, if the Philadelphia Eagles had Matt Stafford, they're probably going undefeated because that team is loaded. I mean, they got two ace cornerbacks. They got a hell of a defensive line led by Jalen Carter, who somehow they let slip to that team.
Defense is basically the Bulldog championship team. Crazy.
Yeah, their linebackers are much improved, led by Zach Bond, who somehow the Saints let walk out the fucking door for free.
I don't know how to develop.
They let that dude walk out the door for free without getting shit for him, and he turns into an all-pro. What the fuck is your self? What kind of self-scouting do you got going on there? Like, this is just dumb. I don't know how Mickey Loomis still has a job, but yeah, and they got a guy that's probably going to finish top 3 in MVP, and he's not even a damn quarterback, Saquon Barkley, who ran for 2,000 yards. They have one of the best offensive lines. They're just going to beat the LA Rams on the line, and that's going to be the tale of the story. It's going to be like an old school SEC team against one of those non-conference teams.
Yeah, that all sounds good, Rocco, but I'm just had to pop that balloon real quick. Yeah, so I think, and I don't know why it's always the LA Rams, but they just always play harder in the playoffs. It's just something about them. They just be spanking ass. What we saw from them in that Minnesota game, bro, bro, like Jared Verse, if he wasn't already the defensive rookie of the year, I think that game solidified him
Mhm.
that award. And then just on top of, it's kind of, I think we're seeing in real time Cooper Cup become irrelevant in that particular. And I hate to say irrelevant, but he clearly now, if you can't tell, is the number two receiver behind Puka Nakua. And he just not, I don't know. He just hasn't been what we the effect that you want out of Cup. We haven't seen that in these last few weeks. And then you got Mr. Kyron Williams, aka Mr. Volume himself. We'll see. Blake Corum is out. He has a broken forearm, so Kyron's going to continue to get like he wasn't already though, the majority of the carries going forward,
Mhm.
and they're going to have to rely on being balanced. I think that's the key to this game. You're going to have to be able to play really good defense. You're going to have to take advantage of of Jalen Hurts. I really do think he struggles against the blitz, and that defensive line gets to quarterbacks. So they're gonna have to pressure him throughout the whole game and help out your secondary. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, they are dogs. I do like them, but he still got to get them the ball. So we'll see how long he has to get them, how long to pass that thing. So we'll see. I think maybe we could see an upset, But if there is an upset, and that kind of leads me to one topic: their offensive coordinator just interviewed for our head coaching gig, Kellen Moore, and you can stay your ass out the goddamn building. We don't want you.
Wasn't he your OC before?
Yes, he was, and I don't want him. I don't. I know. You see how they're passing offenses now with the Philadelphia Eagles. Sure, Saquon Barkley ran for 2,000 yards. Tell me what the fuck Jalen Hurts did all season. I'll wait. Tell me what Devontae Smith did all season. I'll wait. You turn on the film. Them boys out there are running, doing aerobics out that motherfucker. I'm not good. No, I don't want it. I don't want it. I want some modern stuff. And what you want out of a head coach, you want a person who's a leader of men. That boy got no facial hair on his face. Man, I don't want to get the fuck out of here. I don't want to kill him. About to piss me off. I don't want that.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Fuck out of here. Hey Rocco, last game of the divisional round, and I think I bet it's been talked about. Lamar been talking his ish. The Buffalo Bills have been talking their ish. I don't know. I still think Lamar comes on top and he gets on. I think that's the race right now. Whoever wins this game, I believe wins MVP. What do you think about that?
I'll go a step further. I think whoever wins this game is going to win a Super Bowl.
Mm.
I feel like this kind of is like a mini Super Bowl because these two teams, if they were in different conferences, we could actually see them in the Super Bowl. They're so good. The Achilles heel, I hate to keep hammering this point, but the Bills' run defense has not been good this year. At 27th, according to PFF, they've given up a lot of big games this year on the ground. And if they don't get that, if they don't get that bottled up, then the Ravens have proven that they won't even make a pass. They'll just fucking they'll just run till you fucking tap out. That's what
Yeah.
they did to, the steel curtain. The steel curtain.
Yeah, that was.
They called curtains on that shit.
No, man.
It looked like fucking beef curtains because they was going in.
There was this. Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, bro.
Pittsburgh Steelers beef curtains.
I think that with Josh Allen, and I kind of once again, I hate to say it, but I really be hating on people. I like me some. I think how they just got Keon Coleman. He's been coming back along, and you know how I feel about my boy James Cook. He's been killing it, and he's very much an underrated back and all-purpose back in this league. So we'll see who comes out. I think with the Ravens, Zay Flowers is right now questionable to play. I really think he's a game time decision right now, which is kind of a bummer because I would love to see him in the playoffs and the Ravens at their full capacity. which also let's brings me back to the fact that they picked up Deontay Johnson. He's not the fact that they need a wide receiver and he's still not going to play.
Hmm.
Once again, not to kick a man when he's down, but kick a man
Wasted.
wasted. And that's just a little promo. Go check out the last video. Like, subscribe, and share.
Boom.
Boom. But I do think the Ravens come out on top. But you know how the
Hmm.
NFL go. I think they try to get the Bills to get to the Super Bowl. So we will see.
I think I I feel like the Ravens got a slightly better team from top to bottom, and I think that uh, Lamar Jackson's been playing better. I think he's been playing as the best player in the entire NFL. But I could also see Josh Allen putting that team on his back and winning this game. He's that damn good. But I guess I'll leave you with this hot take that I have.
Let me hear it.
Um, I think that this game, Rashad Bateman could emerge as the team's wide receiver one going forward. He's that talented. And he
Guess who
damn
has
near scores a touchdown every single week.
Rashad Bateman? Me in plenty of leagues. And I will definitely
Love
take
some Bateman.
now. Do I think he's going to be wide receiver one? I don't know. Yeah, but we have seen that their offensive coordinator Tom McCocken has been interviewing many places this during this playoff time. So we will see. There's a lot of offensive coordinators right now, or defensive coordinators that are being looked at for head coaching positions. And we will see how much that will affect them. Hopefully, that doesn't. I think I saw what was his name, Emmanuel Acho, talking about he better not, Kellen Moore better not be distracted by the Dallas Cowboys head coaching job, and that be the reason why the Eagles lose. No, the Eagles gonna lose because y'all not like that. I'm just gonna be honest with you, y'all play though. Y'all boys are
I mean,
okay.
you could say that for like pretty much every team in the playoffs because every team in the playoffs has a coordinator interviewing. You know why? Because they're in the fucking playoffs.
Because they're in the goddamn playoffs, man, and that's the
And
divisional round.
they're
Can't wait
hot.
to actually get that thing going, brother. But listen, we got another topic here in front of us because I've been seeing, I have eyes, Rocco, and I've been on Sleeper and I've been on Reddit, and I think people, which is kind of crazy for me to even think about, I think people are a little too low on Nico Collins right now. Let me tell you why I think that. Let me go ahead and show you a little bit of proof. Here's a trade that I that happened in a league that I run. I believe this was yesterday. They traded away Nico Collins and Sam Laporta, and they received Bensonet, Brian Thomas, and Jalen Wright. When I first saw this trade, I had to do a double take because I thought, all right, would I do this? Fuck no. But hear me out though. Let me see. Let me put myself in his shoes. Brian Thomas just had one of the most promising rookie years when he didn't even have his starting quarterback for numerous of games. Love to see it. Devil's advocate, I love me some Benson. I think when Zach Ertz walks away from the Commanders, he is primed to step right there, and I don't think they skip a beat. And then Jalen Wright, he's man to me. He's all right. I think people overhyped him because he was fast, but I don't. I don't really see it with him. You gave up Nico Collins, who I think is a top three, top four dynasty receiver, hands down. And then you can argue with Sam Laporta being in that top three, four guys at that dynasty tight end spot. Almost feel like you kind of give up a wee bit here. I mean, it kind of depends on how you personally feel about Nico Collins, but to me, I think this is a little low. What do you think?
I, to me, they're Nico Collins and Brian Thomas. are damn it near in the same tier. So I would trade either one for either if you gave me a little bit on top, and I would feel good about it because I like both of them a lot. I think the one thing that Brian Thomas has going for him is he had a better year because Nico Collins was hurt, and he produced as a rookie, which it took Nico Collins 3 years and a quarterback to produce. But to me, I'm not looking at my top five right now, but they're like 4 or 5, 5 or 6, and they're in the same tier. So the way I look at this trade is, would I trade Ben Sinnott and Jalen Wright for Sam Laporta? Fuck no. I mean, even with a down year, Sam Laporta is still, conservatively a top 5 tight end. And we hope that Ben Sinnott could get close to Sam Laporta's, ranking right now. But he did shit in his rookie year, so we're just holding on hope that he does it. And he's sitting on our taxi, and we hope that he blows up like Trey McBride did when Zach Ertz got hurt and left town. But we have no evidence that that's going to happen. And Jalen Wright, I mean, I could almost bet you Miami drafts another running back this year, and now you're going to be looking at A-Chain, Wright, and Quinshon Judkins, Caleb Johnson.
I don't want to see none of that. Don't say none.
Trevion Henderson.
But it would make me laugh. It would make me laugh though because of the amount of people that would be blown about David N-Chain. Because I have one chair, but I typically try to get rid of him because I'm not the biggest A-Chain fan. I think he's a smaller back who gets hurt, and we were just talking about this the other day. The weight that he put on during the off season caused him to get hawked down a few times this past NFL season. So it's
I kind of like A-Chain. I like the way they used him this year. They used him a lot at slot receiver, and he caught damn near 100 passes. So I could see that continuing, especially if they're going to trade Tyreek Hill and they're going to move away from that downfield passing attack, and they lean on Waddle, Jonnu Smith, and A-Chain along with a hammer back there. But either way we look at it, right ain't that just ain't right, this trade.
You hear that? You know what that sounds like though. You know who David N-Chain's situation sounds like, because you're saying his catching is what made him a more appealing. You know who that sounds like? It sounds like a Rachaad White in the making. That sounds like a Rachaad White situation.
Rachaad White never averaged 7 yards a carry. He was lucky if he could get half of that in a season. That's a big difference.
Efficiency wise, but I still don't feel like rushing wise. Like, I don't know. It's kind of towards the end of the season. I feel like what was saving A-Chain wasn't his rushing; it was his receiving. He wasn't winning games because of his rushing.
He won somebody a Super Bowl with that 50, 60-yard touchdown in the championship week.
Yeah, I can't be mad at that. He definitely.
I know. He kicked me in the face in at least one league. That son of a gun. I mean, he's not at the top of the food chain at running back for me, but I think he does have value. But what you say is valid too. Being that small makes you nervous about him getting hurt.
And then Rocco, I have one more trade that happened with Nico, and I saw this one particularly on Reddit, and it made me first start this whole discussion of what the hell is going on with Nico Collins. CJ has really killed how people feel about this guy, because there is no way I'm giving Nico Collins and Jordan Addison for Brian Thomas. The Brian Thomas love, the factuation, the actual love for him is getting out of hand, Rocco. He got basically a top 3 dynasty receiver and a wonderful wide receiver too.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. He got a free Addison out the deal, so good for whoever made that trade. It makes me kind of want to sell resell Brian Thomas in a couple leagues and see if I can't get some stuff like this to build that quality depth on my team.
I'm trying to tell you, people absolutely love them some BTJ. I'm gonna mess up this band initials. BTJ. They like that boy. I like him too. I have him on plenty of leagues. Actually, in one league, I have him, Lad McConkey, and Jamar Chase and CD Lamb. It's a wonderful time. It's a wonderful time to be alive, actually, in that particular league I'm in. What I do this trade, if I'm the person receiving Nico Collins and Jordan Addison, boy, I am skip. I am sea walking. I am doing the Cupid shuffle. I am doing the electric slide. I am doing the I'm doing every single step you can think of out there because I am smashing the fuck out this accept button. Let me tell you.
I
So
mean, I'll
like
look at it on the other side that based on his year one stats, he's on that Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase trajectory. So I think that's what people are seeing with him. But you know, I still wouldn't give up a top 20, maybe higher receiver on top of Collins. That's just silly talk.
silly talk, crazy talk, out of pocket talk. And that's how we feel about Nico. And that just sparked my mind, Nico. Rocco. And I just wanted to see what you thought about this, my G. But I think it's time. What people been waiting for. What the whole basis, whole just the thought of this video was about. And it's the early as fuck rookie mock draft. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's get to
Who's
it.
got number one?
Who got number one? Listen, I don't know who got number one, but shoot, I am number one at this point.
All
We're
right, you
going,
got number one.
so basically, this is how we're going to do it, Rocco. Because we both could have different answers, different guys who would think would go at the 102, 103. I think we both know who's going to go at 101. But let's work through this and see what we can create. You feel me?
I see what you're going. I see where you're going with this.
Let's get to it. So I feel like we already know who it is, but who do you have at that 101?
I'm going Ashton Genty, even if I think any of these running backs are better than him, which none of them outproduced him or had better, metrics than him. He's worth the most in trade. So I'm gonna pick Ashton Genty. I mean, what's not to like? He led the nation in missed forced tackles. Damn near set a record for rushing yards.
Yeah, almost broke Barry Sanders' long time rushing yards in the season. I didn't want him to break that because I'm Barry Sanders absolutely number one fan. He's my favorite running back of all time, college and NFL. Didn't want him to break that, but I think universally, given we all have Ashton Genty going 101, unless he ends up going to like the Atlanta Falcons. Don't see that happening. But if he ended up going to like the Atlanta Falcons, there's no point of drafting Ashton Genty at the 101. And he is also going to be my pick at that 101 spot. How about that 102?
This is where,
and just to throw it out there for the audience, this is Superflex.
Superflex.
12-2.
This is where you really need to start thinking about quarterback. If it was me, I'd probably trade. If I needed a quarterback at 102, I would be trading looking for an established one because I'm not 100% sold on any of these guys. So I'm going to go with my number 2 player on the board. Fuck the quarterback. I'm going with Quinshon Judkins.
What?
You heard me right. You heard me right. I didn't stutter. Not this time. Not this time. I went with Quinshon Judkins.
All Listen, if you go through YouTube, all the rookie mock drafts have McMillan going 102. You going Judkins at the 102. I really want y'all to go back on our channel and watch Rocco talk about how much he loves Judkins. I'm going like that's his guy, and I think he might be the one of those running backs you can get at value this year. And
Oh, don't get me wrong. If I got the 2, I'm trying to trade down furiously so that I can get my guy and pick up an extra pick. So if y'all want that 102, y'all want Tet, I got the 2. Come talk to me.
I like it though. We start on a little hot take. I like it.
Hey, all I gotta say about Quinshon Judkins is, as a true freshman in the fucking SEC, 1,567 yards, 5.7 yards an attempt, 16 touchdowns. Find me somebody doing that as a freshman. I know you ain't gonna find Genty with those numbers. Not in the SEC. Not in any conference. So
here dog. Here guy.
What could I say? That's my guy.
I'm going to have to go with McMillan here. I like me. I think he's one of the more polished guys in this class. Now, is his ceiling amazing? No, I don't think so. But I think he has one of the highest floors for any wide receiver, and it really depends on where he ends up and lands. But I love McMillan. I don't think he's 6'5". He's going to end up being like 6'4"-ish. He reminds me of Drake London, honestly, if we're, on how they move and how fluid he is. So sign me up for McMillan at that 102.
Who you got at 3? Roll into it.
This is where you start getting to that quarterback situation for me. And I think you start to fall into this. Would you rather have the 103? So basically one of these quarterbacks, or what quarterback could you get by trading away the 103? I think in that range, somebody might give you Bo Nix potentially. I don't know. Maybe if someone really loves Bo Nix, it might take a little bit more. Maybe a first and a third. Once again, this is super flex, so quarterbacks have a little bit more value.
Would you trade the 103 for Dak Prescott straight up?
Fuck no.
Would you trade? Let me think. Would you trade C.J. Stroud for the 1.3?
No. No. If I was, because I don't think I'm a. If I want, I really don't think. For the most part of the time, I'm an Ashton Genty player away, for real. So, I think quarterbacks are so valuable this late. If you already are set at quarterback this year, I already think you're ahead of the curve from everybody. If you're needing a quarterback this year, you're a little bit fucked. I can't unless you're waiting for 2006, where you have Arch Manning and a couple more better quarterbacks coming out. So it really just depends.
I'll tell you this. In my experience this past year, I think quarterbacks, we're drilled that quarterbacks are so valuable. I think we've drilled that in our heads for the last 5 years in Superflex, that they're so valuable. I think they've kind of become overrated. I feel like if you don't have like a Lamar Jackson, a Josh Allen, a Joe Burrow, somebody of that ilk, maybe like a Jaden Daniels, I think almost the rest of those fuckers are all in like a big tier.
A big
tier. There's not a whole lot separating. Like I could find like a Drew Lock to give me 44 points on waivers. I could find a Mac Jones at the end of the season. Those are a couple guys I've won championships at the end of the year with. So for me, I want studs. I want fucking badasses at every other position. And I feel like I can find quarterback production.
Well, here at the 103, I think Shedeur comes off the board.
Okay, I can respect it.
He's my QB1 here. I love how poised he is in the pocket. I think he has a nice arm. Does he have the most live arm? No, but I think he has a good arm and to make every NFL throw on that he can on the field. And then just the confidence, the moxie, the swagger. Those are the things those that you don't those intangibles that don't show up on paper that you need
Hmm.
to be successful in the NFL. He doesn't need to be a diva, but to have confidence in yourself to know that you can play with the rest of these guys is very important. So yes, I'll go Sanders here at that 103.
All right. Um, I'm gonna do another swerve here
Ooh,
and
I'm
do
up in the corner.
and
Ooh.
I'm gonna tell you how my drafts are gonna go and how I'll be drafting. Um, Give me fucking Omarion Hampton.
Oh,
Omarion Hampton
oh,
had 3,000 yards and 30 touchdowns in the last 2 years
oh,
at North Carolina.
don't
You
really
know,
know how to feel about
six
this.
foot one, 220, explosive enough. He can also catch passes. He had 67 catches in the last 2 years, well over almost 600 yards. I think he profiles as a workhorse back, and I think the league is getting an influx of workhorse back. You know how you don't like small backs like A Chain? They
Mm.
don't have many guys that look like A Chain in this draft. These are true size, speed specimens. 6 foot, 220. Give it to me. That's the guys I want on my team. I want to
I,
look like the I want to look like the Monstars getting off the bus. I want to intimidate my opponent.
Omarion Hampton, after looking at some other guys, Omarion Hampton might go down as my most overrated running back in this class. I think.
What you don't like about him?
I think his agility is just he's a north and south runner.
Hmm.
When you make him have to when he's going straight and he doesn't have to change his path, he's great. He reminds me of DeMarco Murray. When he has to switch the lane a little bit and make a cut, I just
Hmm.
see him running into the back of people. So I don't. I'm not really the biggest Amori on him. I'm gonna let everybody else overdraft him.
I saw some of that too. I think it's vision, but it very well could be his lateral agility. We'll I hope he tests that at the combine so we can kind of get an idea of his lateral movements. But it's something I'll have to go back and look at on the tape with. But I already said it. He's on my board.
He has he no he has it. What intrigues you is that size, speed, that power that he has. You did. It just that part scares me. It depends on what offense that you put him in that
Hmm.
you want him to run out of. So if it's out of the I formation, hell yeah, because he's going directly downhill, right? But if you're, I mean, they ran out of the shotgun plenty of times at North Carolina, but like you see throughout the tape that sometimes he just run into the back ends of people when
Hmm.
he has to make a cut here or when he has to make a sudden move. He gets a little jumbled up. Well,
No, I can respect it.
at that 104, Rocco, what we doing, Playboy?
All right. I've ignored every other position plenty
Uh-huh.
so far, so I'm gonna dip my toes into the wide receiver position.
Not even
You
a
heard
corner. What the
you heard what Huncho had to say about this guy, so I don't have to add too much more. He's just a big giant. I mean, he's gotten comps from AJ Green to Mike Evans to Drake London. I don't think he's Mike Evans, but if
no,
he's
no.
if he's 85% of Drake London, I'll take him at 4 all day. Give me Tet.
I agree with you. I don't get the Mike Evans comp whatsoever. Mike Evans was a physical specimen coming out of Texas A&M. A real 50-50 ball guy. He'll jump over you. I don't see that from McMillan. He's more of a Drake London, get saucy with you type of guy.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I
With the size.
with the
He's got the
size.
size. He's got the size, but he has the route running moxie.
Exactly. That's what I like about him. You dig? This is, I think, at that 104. I really start to like, and it really depends what he come out as, Rocco. If he comes out as a
I
corner,
know where you going with this.
if he comes out as a receiver, if he comes out as a receiver, he's wide receiver one for me in this class. He's cornerback one for me in this class, and we talk about this all the time because both like to participate in IDP leagues. He can go down as one of the greatest IDP players to ever play for fantasy of how he can score you points, right? He can get you tackles, which automatically gets you points in leagues, and don't let him start catching balls. He can be really an X factor in fantasy if it really plays out how he wanted to be. And I think you already know who I'm talking about, Rocco. I'm talking about that boy, Shador Sanders, wide receiver, his teammate, his guy, Travis Hunter. Gotta put my G at 105. 104.
Oh no, great pick, great pick. I have the feeling. Oh man, I mean, you know, he can go so many different ways with it. If you're in an IDP league, he damn near might be the first pick because he's going to get you defensive stats and he's going to give you offensive stats. It just depends on. I think he's going to play 70-30. It just depends on what side of the ball he plays on. I think I change my mind every week, but I think he's going to play wide receiver, and he has the best mitts in this whole draft. So I'm going to be in lockstep with you. I'm going to be one step behind on the picks, but I'm going to go with Travis Hunter at 5.
Travis Hunter at 5. Put respect on that boy's name. Like I say, it really is going to really indicate what he comes in the league as, and you're taking that risk, right? If he comes in and they say he's playing corner with just a few snaps here at receiver, I think you kind of just wasted your first round pick there. But if he plays receiver, shit's up. You did. 105. I think this has to be Cam Ward for me. Cam Ward, my second favorite quarterback, comes off the board. Now, he could either go to the Giants, he could either go to the Raiders. Who knows? I'm still waiting to see where he lands. But he is one of the most composed guy. He is so chill. I forget what game it was, but he was just standing there, lollygazy, just looking at where he needs to go the ball at. Love me some Cam Ward. Broke the all-time college football passing touchdown record. Like, he's a dog. He knows how to beat defenses, and then he knows how to extend plays. I love that about him. That's where I think he's better than Shador Sanders at. He's a better extender. So he can extend the plays when it breaks down. With the protection isn't as good as it. I think Shador is a little bit more better of a pre-processor than Cam Ward is. And that's why I take out 105.
I like it. I like it. I'm still waiting on QB on my end, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go with a guy who, I mean, when we were talking about this before the season started, it was basically a two guy race at wide receiver. He didn't have the season that he had in 2023, but he's not any less athletic. He's not any less of the perfect prototype size that scores points in the NFL. I'm going with Luther Burden. He's one of the best yards after catch guys. He's strong and he's 6 foot, and he's just electric with the ball in his hands. And I think he's going to get first round capital. And I think he's gonna land on a good team. I gotta hope that he ends up on the Saints, but the Saints have so many needs. I think they're gonna fucking get another defensive lineman, and we're gonna be pissed off again at the team to watch another bust ass defensive lineman. But I think he can have a role in a lot of teams. It's gonna come down to him falling to the right team a little bit. So maybe this is a little bit of a reach. But if he gets on the right team, look out. He could be one of the most exciting guys in this entire draft.
I like that. I really do like that, Rocco. And I'm right there, right behind you about Luther Burden. Some people see him mainly as a slot guy coming into the NFL, but I see him. He won outside, he won inside. And yes, he did have a down year. I think that's because of the offense that they were running, and the QB wasn't as good, and just the overall team wasn't good at all. So it really hurt his stats and his production overall. But if you go back and look at his junior year, he was a dog. You saw why he's being considered a first round receiver. And I think if he goes to anywhere like the Dallas Cowboys, I think he would be a perfect fit opposite of CeeDee Lamb. We're really missing our Jordan Addison, right? Justin Jefferson is really good, but he has a Jordan Addison as well, his Robin to his Batman, to take the pressure off of him. Jamar Chase is really good, but he's even better when T. Higgins is out there on the field and taking pressure off of him. So, wide receiver ones need a counterpart on the other end to take that pressure.
Agreed. Yeah.
So I'll do and let Luther Burden go to the Dallas Cowboys. I promise you, I'll gladly turn in this fucking card at 106, and I will repeat what you have at 106. He is also my choice.
Nice.
Have to have that boy right there. He's a dog.
Who you got at 7? Who you got at 7?
Oh, I know another one of my guys, and I've been talking about this boy almost all season because he is a dog, and I think he's gonna be better than what people actually think. He might even be better than your boy Omarion Hampton that you have going at 103, and that is my guy, Caleb Johnson.
I knew that was coming. I knew it.
Johnson. Now, one thing about him is that he wasn't. I still think he could be a capable receiver, but he wasn't used much in the receiving game. And then when it comes to his overall, I guess, big runs, he didn't have too many of those. It'll be like a 4-yard run, 5-yard run, and then he'll break off a long run, and then you go back to like a 5-yard run, 4-yard run, 6-yard run. So it really just depended on the game. I really like Caleb Johnson, though. I think his game translates well into the NFL. His vision is so nice. He has that size that you want at the running back position. And then also he has the speed to go along with it. There's so many times I'm just watching him and it doesn't look like he's running fast, but he's gliding. And you don't really see him get caught many times for a person his size. Have to go with Caleb Johnson at that 107.
I can dig it. I like it. I'm ready. I'm ready to jump into the quarterback position. I think this is where I start to feel comfortable about him, because I think every quarterback in this draft has immense story I'm looking for, bust potential.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys worry me because none of them look like, Shedeur Sanders, but I question some of the athleticism for him. But I'm not going with Shedeur Sanders. I'm going with Cam Ward.
Okay.
Give me the guy that has a little bit more juice in the run game and can make things happen with his leg. And I think he's a little bit better athlete. He's got plenty of experience, which was looked at a negative years ago, but with guys like Michael Penix and Bo Nix coming into the league with a lot of experience, Jaden Daniels with a lot of experience, it's kind of showing us that guys with a lot of starts under their belt, they can hit the ground running in the NFL a little bit faster. And I like his moxie, and I just think he's a dog. So Give me Cam Ward. I'm not saying he can't climb up higher on this list, but it kind of scares me that he could end up in Tennessee, and Tennessee is so. Um, give me Cam Ward.
Yeah,
I'm ready to take the splash on a QB.
yeah, I like it. I do. And hey, I can't argue with you that having Cam Ward over Shador Sanders is wrong. I really can't, because it's really, if you like, it's ice cream. Some people
And it
like.
looks like he's going to be the number one pick. So the NFL may, at least at this point in the process, the NFL looks like they agree with us based on all of the mock drafts we're seeing.
I'm gonna have to go with another one of one of my guys. He's
Another
not
one.
undefeated whatsoever, and if he came out last year, he still would have been one of the top receivers. And I think we all know who this one is. Amika Buka out of Ohio State. That boy is a dog, Mr. Sun God Jr. himself, or Terry McLaurin Light, if you will. I love this. He is the technician of the wide receiver group. His route running is really nice. He can win from the inside, he can win from the outside. I think in the NFL, when we're seeing bigger slot guys go in the middle, he's the guy that you think about when you think about those type of fellas. I really like me some Amika Ibuka. He's another guy I could see getting drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. And if that happens, I would love that. I think him and CD pair very well and could be a
Hmm.
very formidable duo for Dak going forward. So once again, it really depends on where he goes. But once again, I think he's a top guy in the draft. He could, shoot, I see him going in that first round, but if he doesn't go in that first round, he's definitely going in that early second, top 40 type of guy.
I like it. I like it. I'm also gonna go with an Ohio State guy. I'm gonna go with a guy who was probably looking to be the number one running back in last year's draft. Yeah, he would have been the number one over our guy Brooks, who can't stay healthy.
Yes, he would have.
Um, give me Trevion Henderson. Just an
Travion
electric back. We saw it in this past playoff game where he broke off a long run
killed that.
um, to really help Ohio State win that game. And besides the electric runs that he got, that he can bring to the table, he's also a pass catching back. So I'm not sure if he's you want him to be your first and second down back every time, but he can give you maybe 10 to 15 carries, and he could be one of the most electric pass catching options in the league, and that's where you score fantasy points. So give me
Mhm.
Trevion Henderson.
I like that one. I can't even be mad at you with that one.
It was him or Abuka, man. It was I mean, it's like you can't go wrong with either one.
I think this is where, at that 109, this is where I'm going to put that guy Judkins at. And I really thought, when I first got hip to him when he was with Ole Miss, and I was like, yo, who is this guy? I thought, I need a 2025, early 2025 pick to get this guy. And you know what? I still just might need an early pick to be able to get Judkins, because I
You got to
know,
draft with me.
yeah, I might be running to a guy like you who absolutely loves the boy. And next, I am not be able to get him. But I do like me some Judkins. He's such a physical running back, and he's 6 foot 215. He has enough speed. He has enough elusiveness, and I think just he has, there's some things that you can't teach at that running back position, and that's being a dog. And so, yes, he shared this year. He decided to share that backfield with Travion Henderson, who would have been RB1 last year. If Judkins would have came out, was even eligible last year, he would have been RB1 for sure last year. So it just, that tells you of the value of these guys that you're picking up. They're really top quality guys. It's just that the class is really, really, really good this year. Almost damn near could be transcending of how it could be for the NFL. So I really do like Judkins at that 109.
Yeah, I'm one step behind you, man. I got Emeka Abuka at 9. Everything you said about him, you know, he could be a sun god light, just a guy that just knows how to get open, and that's a very valuable skill in the NFL. I'd rather have a guy that can get open and get open quickly, and some of those bigger guys that rely on jump balls. That's how we played 15 years ago, but that's not how the NFL's played today. Give me those quick guys that can get open in space, that can beat zone, and that could be target earners and target monsters. I love some Abuka, and I think he can fit on a lot of teams as a guy that can just help move the chains, and you know maybe he can do even a little bit more and become a superior target hog like a Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then you have a smash at that pick.
I just like saying his name, Ibuka. Ibuka.
Emeka Abuka,
Make Ibuka.
Buka, Buka, Buka.
Make Ibuka. You know what I'm saying? And so every time he scored a touchdown, make Ibuka. Make Ibuka. Make Ibuka. You feel me? I gotta get. I promise you, if he comes to Dallas Cowboy, I'm getting me a Mecca Ibuka jersey. I promise you.
Fucking Abuka dance party up in here.
Damn, bro. Now I'll let you go with that 110. Who you feeling?
All right, I left him on the board way too long. In a real draft, he would have been gone about 5, 6, 7, 8 picks ago. Give me Shador Sanders.
Ooh, Shador Sanders. That
Excuse me.
one. He definitely is not going at that 110, but he. I understand why you would have him. I could never. You know what? If this could very much be a draft. How a draft looks like if this was a one QB, 100%. If I saw Caleb Williams going in a one QB at like that 105, that 106, that 107 mark.
Mhm.
So you could 100% see Shador Sanders going at that 110.
If it was a one QB, you couldn't even pay me to draft a QB at all in the whole draft. I'd rather send a third to somebody for a serviceable guy like Geno Smith, who a lot of people have compared Shador Sanders to. So, I mean, would you trade a first for Geno Smith if he was 23 years old?
Fuck.
Probably not.
But
Probably
listen,
not.
hear me out though. We saw what Malik Neighbors did in his rookie year. Let's say Shador Sanders does go to the New York Giants and he gets Malik Neighbors. Let's say they get him another receiver in New York, because let's be honest, Jalen Hyatt sucks. Hate to say it, sorry to say it. I hope your NFL career keeps going, kid. You're just not that. And then Theo Johnson's starting to become. I know he was starting to show some flashes. I really do like me some Wandale Robinson. I think he's actually a really good wide receiver 3 for an offense. So if they
Mhm.
were to go get another wide receiver to go with Tyron Tracy, our boy, our dog, our guy from 2024, I think that offense could be very nice with Dayball. I like him. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely situations out there that can push him up, but with him not on a team yet, and me just valuing the running backs in this class, um, I'm letting other people pick quarterbacks, and I'm hammering running back because my teams that win are usually strong at running back, and this is like a running back enthusiast dream this draft. So I could even as we see landing spots, I can even be pushing some of these guys up higher.
Hey, Rocco, and this is go back to what we talked about. It's better right now to not need a quarterback. If you're going into the draft and you don't need a quarterback, you're good money. You can now use those picks to get skilled players. I mean, don't get me wrong, quarterback is still a skilled player. But you can you can hammer those. That's literally our emphasis this year.
Hmm.
Hammer running backs. We might just create a shirt with that shit on the front. Hammer running backs. That should be your
Hammer.
hammer. Okay.
Not the Dick Hammer because he's not playing in Minneapolis next year, but
The hell he is not.
running back hammers.
Listen, Rocco, I think it's time for my only tight end who I think is worth a first round pick. It's time for him to come off this board. And man, he was one of our Debbie players of the week. I think he was either our first or second actual Debbie player of the week. He's from Penn State. They just let us down actually, but he didn't. Tyler Warren, can you come down, good sir, to that 110 spot? He makes me so happy when I watch this film. And he could be an inline tight end. He could be a slot tight end. He could go out wide. He's not in the same tier as a Brock Bowers, but he is athletic as fuck for a person who is 6'6",
Hmm.
260 plus pounds. He is a formidable type of weapon. Think of a George Kittle. Think of a bigger Trey McBride, if you will. I love me some Tyler Warren. You can use him in so many different ways. They use him as a wildcat quarterback. They use him as a QB sneak type of guy. They use him in the backfield. They do tight end screens to him. They, like I said, they put him on the outside. They use him in so many different ways, middle, outside, you name it. If the the person who your play caller is creative enough, anything is possible with Tyler Warren. I really wish that he could be a Dallas Cowboy, and I know I wish we could have all the good players, but damn it, I want Tyler Warren to be a Dallas Cowboy because he would be such a good tight end for us. But that's who I have at 110. Who do you have at 111?
All right, this guy's been sitting there way too long. He's one of your favorite guys in this draft. I knew there was another running back that I wanted. It does kind of worry me watching some of his highlight film. It seems like all of his long runs he has like a big wide runway that he can land a plane in. But like you said, he's also getting tough 4 and 5 yard runs, and that's valuable in the NFL. So give me Caleb Johnson based on the strength that's your guy, and I'm gonna have to watch some more tape on him. But I can't leave the first round without at least 5 running backs.
I really want to see what he does on those field work when the NFL Combine comes around. I want to see how he does, and I have to see if he's invited to the Senior Bowl or not. Since last year, since they changed that rule, juniors and seniors can actually go to the Senior Bowl. I actually love that rule because it
Mhm.
gets more bodies there, and the Senior Bowl is one of my favorite events of the offseason, actually.
Ye-
So
Yeah, I have one question. I want to know where Devonte Adams was 9 months before he was born, because you look at Caleb Johnson and Devontae Adams. I think they got a little similar look to him, man.
who's your daddy?
Devontae Adams.
He said, I think I know your mammy in there. You know what I
I
mean?
see him without the helmet. I'm like, man, that's Devontae Adams.
He said, who your dad? Who your mama, man? You know what I mean? But listen, I like that. 111, if you didn't put Caleb Johnson in your first round, me and you might have had to box. So we,
Hey, I'm too old to fight, so that's why he's in my first round.
111, I think more people would probably have him here because they like just his athletic profile. Would I select him at 111? I'm not sure. Actually, and realistically, would I do this in the draft with the guy who I'm going to go? No, because it really depends on how much he rises up. If I can get him where currently people are keeping him underneath the radar, then I'll be able to get him in the second round. But if he tests the way I think he tests, and he goes out and performs at the combine like I think he going to perform, and at his pro day, how I think he's going to perform. Oh man, he might go move himself into that later first round, and that is Jalen Royal.
Oh man, I thought you were going in a different direction with that.
And that 111 spot, that boy is a top 5 receiver in this class. And the only reason why people are not talking about him because he got hurt. But he was on pace for 90 catches, 1,400 yards on the season. And he reminds me so much of a baby Chase. They're practically the same size. They're built the same way. They're pretty thick guys. And they'll beat you vertically. They'll beat you after the catch. They have
Hmm.
soft hands. He's just an athletic freak. I like this man. Yeah, I just cutting the first time cutting on his film. I already knew he was going to be one of my guys watching him. So, do I think he's going to go in the first round? Hopefully not, because I want to be able to snag him everywhere that I can. But if not, I'm gladly be happy with selecting him in that later first round.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I'm gonna go. I know I've completely faded running back so far, but there's one more run. I'm sorry, quarterback. I've faded quarterback completely so far. I've taken the two consensus guys, but I'm gonna end the first round with a guy who I think, if he hits,
Mm,
he's the perfect type of quarterback that can be a difference maker. A guy that can run, who's going to test like a baby Anthony Richardson. But the difference is he's started all 4 years and he's got over 40 starts on his belt. Um, and I'm gonna go with Jalen Milroe. I think he's gonna be a guy that's gonna kind of get steamed up during the process, and somebody's gonna fall in love with that athleticism. I don't think he gets out of the second round, and he could be a guy that teams kind of sit on for a little while, or he could even make it up to the Raiders at
yeah.
6. He might be the guy that Ben Johnson, has his eyes on, just a damn cheat code.
Hmm.
Because, when you have quarterbacks like that, if you're a smart offensive coordinator or offensive coach, you have a high floor. And
I agree.
when you have quarterbacks that big that can run, your floor can be the best running team in the league, or second to Baltimore or Philadelphia, and that's going to get you close to a winning record, regardless of some of the other pieces on the team. So this is kind of a stash for me. He's probably not going to start in 2025, but I think he is going to get some draft capital, and when he gets on the field, he could have that Jalen Hurts kind of impact, and help people win championships.
I'm not mad at that, Rocco, because we were literally on the same wavelength. Jalen Milroe was going to be my pick at 112, and that's coming from a Georgia Bulldog. I don't think he makes it out of the first round just because of how rare his intangibles are. And not sorry, not his intangible, but his physical skill
His
set. And
traits.
yes, his traits. Like this man can throw the ball. He's fast as hell. Like, and if you think about it, if Ben Johnson does end up being the one that goes to the Las Vegas Raiders, he ain't never had a quarterback with the athletic skills like a Jalen Milroe. And Jared Goff is a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but Jared Goff is not someone who's going to scramble for a 50-yard scamper or go take it to the house for on a 60-yarder. He's just not that
Hmm.
guy. But Jalen Moreau is a development. He is the definition of a developmental quarterback. You're going to have to be patient with him. He's not. He's not going to be the Andrew Luck. I don't even think he's as good of a passer as we saw with Lamar Jackson coming out of college, who people, damn near butchered coming
Lamar
out.
Jackson was a good passer coming out of college.
My point exactly. So I don't know. He's not that capable of a pass as a Lamar Jackson. But I think if you give him the tools, you give him the time, you give him a good quarterback coach, you give him in a good offensive scheme, and you put him in the right situation, I could see Jalen Monroe
Mhm.
being a very serviceable quarterback, if you will.
Yeah, I think the knock on him is that he's played at Alabama and he didn't win a national championship. And when you don't win a national championship at Alabama, you kind of lose a little shine off of your prospect profile.
Mhm.
But I mean, you look at the last 2 years, 66% and 63% completion percentage, and that's including what he brings to the ground on the ground. Uh, he's gonna get a shot in the NFL, and his prototype, the type of quarterback he is, that's big, that can run, that can score you touchdowns in the red zone. Those will always be valuable in a super flex and in fantasy football in general.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Rocco. And but we're going to see. Once again, it's going to go back to how he tests. Like, if he goes out and runs a 4.3, he's a first round. He's going to go in that first round 100%.
He might go to the Raiders.
You know how they love their
Shit,
speed.
he might jump Shadur if he does that shit.
It'd be crazy times. But that is our episode today, episode 23 to be exact. We will save round 2 of our 2025 early as fuck mock draft for our next show. And we'll continue to do this. We'll probably do this several times throughout the off season as new free agents come along. We'll figure out once we get new landing spots. Maybe we might create some landing spots of our own. You never know. But man, this was another great episode. Once again, we just love creating these things for you guys. We're going to keep banging it out. We've been producing two consistent videos every week for y'all for 3 months now, 4 months now, grinding. And it's only the beginning. Once again, thank you for everybody, all our new subscribers,
Thank you.
views, all the likes, everybody who's shared our video, shared the short, liked the short, everybody who's tapping with us, no matter where you're viewing us on social media, whether that's on Twitter, whether that's on YouTube, whether that's on Facebook. Thank you for tuning in. There's more to go, and it's only the beginning, like I said. Thank you for watching Fourth and Fantasy. I'm Honcho, and this is my guy.
Rocco, thank you everybody. Thank you for the love.
Y'all have a good night.